If you are planning to fly anywhere in 2026, stop what you are doing right now because there are airport rules in effect today that most travelers have never heard of, and some of them will cost you real money if you get them wrong, while others are working silently in your favor and you are not using them. Airlines are not going to announce these rules to you at the gate. The TSA is not going to hand you a pamphlet. And your travel agent, if you still use one, almost certainly does not know them either. But after this video, you will. We are going to go through 5 specific rules and rights that apply directly to you as an air traveler in 2026. We are going to cover exactly what each rule says, exactly why most people get caught off guard by it, and exactly what you need to say or do when the moment arrives. Stay with me through all 5, because the last one alone could save you over $100 on your next trip. Let's get into it. The first thing you need to know involves your carry-on bag, and it is something that trips up thousands of travelers every single year. As of 2026, several major U.S. airlines have quietly updated their carry-on size enforcement policies. This is not about weight. This is about dimensions, and the rules have gotten stricter. Here is what is actually happening at gates right now. Airlines have installed new metal sizing frames at boarding areas, and gate agents are being instructed to enforce carry-on dimensions more aggressively than at any point in the last decade. If your bag does not fit in the sizer, they can charge you a checked bag fee on the spot, at the gate, before you board. At some airlines, that fee is currently $75 or more. The detail most travelers miss is this: the standard carry-on allowance has not changed. It is still typically 22 inches by 14 inches by 9 inches on most major carriers. What has changed is the enforcement. The bags that were sliding through 2 years ago are now being pulled aside. So here is what you do before your next flight. Find your airline's specific carry-on dimensions on their website. Measure your bag with it fully packed, because fabric sides expand. If your bag is borderline, pack lighter or check it in advance online, where checked bag fees are almost always lower than gate fees. If you check a bag online before arriving at the airport, you pay the standard fee. If they force you to check it at the gate, you pay the penalty rate. Same bag, very different price. That is Rule 1. Know your dimensions, check them packed, and never let a gate agent catch you by surprise. Now the second thing, and this one genuinely shocks most travelers when they hear it, is about what you are legally allowed to bring through TSA security in your carry-on that has nothing to do with liquids in a 3-ounce bottle. The TSA has a category of items called medically necessary liquids and gels, and the rules governing them are completely separate from the standard 311 liquid rule that everyone knows. What most people do not know is how broadly that medical exemption actually applies. Prescription medications, including liquid medications, are explicitly exempt from the 3-ounce limit. Insulin, liquid vitamins, medically required nutritional drinks, eye drops prescribed by a doctor, all of these can travel in quantities greater than 3 ounces. They must be declared separately when you place items in the bin, but they cannot be confiscated simply for being over the standard size limit. Here is the exact trap that catches people. They pack a full bottle of prescription liquid medication in their toiletry bag alongside their regular liquids. A TSA officer sees the bottle, it exceeds 3 ounces, and they flag it. The traveler, not knowing their rights, hands it over or throws it away. That medication may cost $60, $80, or over $100 to replace at a pharmacy near their destination, if it is even available. You are not required to surrender a medically necessary liquid simply because it exceeds the volume limit. What you are required to do is declare it. When you approach the security bin, remove the item, place it separately, and say clearly, "This is a medically necessary liquid and I am declaring it for screening." Those are the words. Say them confidently. TSA agents are trained to handle declared medical items through an additional screening process, not confiscation. There is one failure trap buried in this rule. If your medically necessary item is packed inside a frozen gel pack and that gel pack is partially melted, what they call slushy, the gel pack itself is no longer considered a solid and it may be subject to the standard liquid rules. If you are using a gel pack to keep medication cold, make sure it is completely frozen solid when you go through screening. Not soft, not flexible. Frozen solid. That is Rule 2. Declare your medical liquids separately. Say the word declaring, and keep your cold packs frozen. The third thing involves a right that most travelers do not know they have, and it costs you absolutely nothing to exercise. If you are flying into or out of any major U.S. airport and you would like a family member or a close friend to accompany you through security to your gate, even though that person is not flying, you can get them a gate pass. A gate pass is a free security pass issued by the airline at the ticketing counter that allows a non-traveling adult to accompany a passenger through TSA security and all the way to the departure gate. This has always existed. It is not new, but fewer and fewer people know about it because airlines do not advertise it. There is no financial incentive for them to hand out free security access. This matters especially if you are traveling with someone who gets anxious in airports, someone who needs physical assistance navigating long terminals, someone who is flying alone for the first time in years, or a child who is being dropped off for a solo flight. The gate pass turns a curbside goodbye into a gate goodbye. It is a completely different experience. Here is how you get one. Go to the airline's ticketing or check-in counter, not a kiosk, an actual staff counter before security. Tell the agent you would like a gate pass for a companion who is not traveling. They will ask for a reason, and they will ask for the companion's government-issued ID. Acceptable reasons include assisting a passenger with a disability, accompanying a minor, or providing medical support. Not every airline grants them for every reason, and they are issued at the airline's discretion. But if you ask and you give a legitimate reason, you have a genuine chance of walking your person all the way to the gate. Most people never ask because they assume the answer is no. The answer is not always no. That is Rule 3. Walk up to the counter, bring the companion's ID, and ask for a gate pass. The fourth rule is about what happens when your flight is delayed or canceled, and it is the rule that most directly separates travelers who walk away with compensation from travelers who walk away with a voucher for $5 off a future flight. As of 2024, the Department of Transportation finalized new rules around passenger compensation for flight delays and cancellations. These rules are now fully in force. Here is what they say in plain language. If your flight is canceled, or if it is significantly delayed, which the DOT defines as 3 hours or more for domestic flights and 6 hours or more for international, and the cause is within the airline's control, you are entitled to a full cash refund, not a travel credit, not a voucher, a refund to the original form of payment. The phrase "within the airline's control" is the key phrase. Delays caused by weather are typically not the airline's responsibility. Delays caused by aircraft maintenance issues, crew scheduling problems, IT failures, or late-arriving aircraft are within the airline's control. Here is the trap. Airlines at the gate and on customer service lines are trained to offer you a voucher first. The voucher offer sounds helpful. It has a dollar amount. Feels like resolution. But if the delay qualifies under DOT rules, you are not required to accept a voucher. You can say, "I would like a cash refund to my original payment method under the Department of Transportation's 2024 Passenger Protection Rule." That sentence matters. Write it down if you need to. It signals that you know your rights, and it moves you from the voucher track to the refund track. Refunds under this rule must be processed within 7 business days for credit card payments and 20 business days for other forms of payment. If an airline violates this timeline, you can file a complaint with the DOT directly through their Aviation Consumer Protection website, and those complaints are tracked and acted upon. Do not accept a voucher for something you are legally owed in cash. That is Rule 4. And now the fifth rule, which I promised at the beginning is worth over $100 on its own, and I am going to deliver on that. If you travel internationally, even once a year, even occasionally, you need to know about the CBP One app and the Mobile Passport Control Program. These are free, official U.S. Customs and Border Protection tools that allow you to submit your customs declaration digitally before you land, and then use a dedicated fast-track lane when you arrive back in the United States. Here is why this matters financially and practically. Many travelers pay $100 and wait up to 18 months to enroll in Global Entry, a trusted traveler program that does exactly the same thing. Skip the standard customs line and clear through a dedicated arrival lane faster. Global Entry is a legitimate program, and it is worth it for very frequent international travelers. But if you fly internationally once or twice a year, you do not need to pay anything or wait for approval. Mobile Passport Control is available at over 30 major U.S. airports. You download the free app, you create a profile with your passport information once, and every time you return to the U.S. from an international destination, you complete your customs declaration on your phone while you are still on the plane. When you land, you go to the Mobile Passport Control lane, which is separate from the standard customs line and typically moves significantly faster, and you show the QR code generated by the app. That is it. No fee, no application, no background check waiting period. Available to any U.S. citizen or permanent resident with a valid passport. The airports currently participating in the Mobile Passport Control Program include major hubs like Miami, Atlanta, Chicago O'Hare, Dallas, Los Angeles, New York JFK, and many others. Before your next international trip, search CBP Mobile Passport Control and confirm your arrival airport is on the list. Download the app before you leave, not after you land, because you will want your profile set up before you are on the return flight. This is not a workaround or a loophole. This is an official U.S. government program designed to reduce customs congestion, and most travelers have never heard of it because no one is financially motivated to tell you about it. It does not cost the airline anything to tell you, but it also does not benefit them, so they stay silent. That is Rule 5. Download Mobile Passport Control before your next international trip, set up your profile on the ground, and use it on the way home. Let me bring all 5 of these together before you close this video, because each one of these is worth remembering on its own. Rule 1. Carry-on size enforcement is stricter in 2026. Measure your bag while it is fully packed. If it is borderline, check it online before the airport to pay the standard rate instead of the gate penalty rate. Rule 2. Medically necessary liquids are exempt from the 3-ounce rule. When you go through TSA, remove them, place them separately, and say the words, "I am declaring this as a medically necessary liquid." Keep your gel packs completely frozen, not slushy. Rule 3. A gate pass allows a non-traveling companion to accompany you through security to the gate for free. Go to a staff ticketing counter, bring their ID, and ask. Most people never ask. Rule 4. If your flight is canceled or significantly delayed for reasons within the airline's control, you are entitled to a full cash refund under current DOT rules. Do not accept a voucher for a delay that qualifies for cash. Ask specifically for a refund to your original payment method. Rule 5. Mobile Passport Control is a free U.S. government app that gives you a faster customs lane when you return from international travel. It is free, it requires no approval waiting period, and it is available at over 30 major airports right now. None of these rules are secrets in a technical sense. They are all publicly available if you know exactly where to look and exactly what to search for. But they are invisible to the average traveler at the airport because no one with a financial interest in your travel experience is going to walk up and explain them to you. Now you know them. And if you found even one of these genuinely useful, do one thing before you close this video. Share it with someone who is planning to fly this year. Because the person you share it with is far less likely to leave money at the gate, surrender medication they were entitled to keep, or stand for 2 hours in a customs line they never had to be in. Safe travels.